Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News.
The importance of reading in a nation's development cannot be overlooked. It is therefore necessary to sustain a reading culture. Otherwise, literacy could revert to illiteracy. Joining us now to discuss the role they are playing to promote the reading culture in Nigeria are the co-founders of Jordan Hill Creative Writing and Reading Center, Kennedy and Adeola Eze.
Good morning,
welcome to the show.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
It's nice to have you here. So I'll start with you, Adeola. You have over 20 years in teaching experience, as well as you've worked as an administrator in all these private schools, Corona. How would you rate the Nigerian kids reading right now? How would you rate their reading culture?
Well, I'll say the children are actually making an effort. All right, the schools are putting in things in place to be able to get children to be better readers. Really, presently, we do not have the kind of reading culture we had when we were growing up. Basically because the children are distracted. They have a lot of distractions, the internet, the TV, and a whole lot of that. And so it's really not where it used to be. But I know schools are actually putting certain things in place to be able to get children, to be able to bring back the reading culture as we used to have it then. And then that's something we at Jordan Hill are actually focused on, to get children to be where we used to be, because with that, they'll be able to do better in their academics and in life.
But is the internet necessarily a threat to the reading culture?
Well, I would say to an extent, because things that are not done in moderation naturally would result in a vice. So for the children, a whole lot of children are on the internet, they're downloading games, they're doing all sorts. And then if parents are not particularly supervising them, they would not know how to organize themselves and be able to have the proper routine to know, okay, yes, this is the time I can do this, and this is the time I need to spend to read. So that is basically one way in which the internet is distracting. On the other hand, you know, the internet can actually help because you can get a lot of resources, a lot of materials from it. But most times, if that is not done with parental supervision or teacher's guide, the children don't get to go into that. They would rather go into the games, the music, and whatever.
And social media right now.
Yes.
I think we're in the day of the social media era. How can we really, I think we can, there's a way that we can actually infuse that and have our children read more. What do you think about that?
We encourage parents to actually use the medium, the social media, to actually get the children to be more excited about it. If parents on their own can use the social media to benefit themselves, it would affect the children. Now you have the Facebook, you have the Instagram, you have all of that. So if you have children signed on to pages that would actually enrich them, yes, they would. But you find that most times the children are just there for the social part of it, which is good. But in essence, we need to look at what adds value to us as human beings, and then but the children as they grow up to become better readers and writers.
Well, Kennedy, let me ask you this. How did you and your wife arrive at the idea of setting up a reading and literacy center? How did it start? Okay,
we started in 2011, and then it started as a summer camp inside our house then. And the reason for that was we had talked about it. What is the need? Why are children not focused in reading and writing? Why is it not improving? So we said as a summer camp, okay, let's have children come in so that we can engage them in things that would improve on their reading and writing. We came up with activities that will interest them, because if you can get a child's interest in something positive, the child does not only, do well in that thing, but it extends to other areas and aspects of life. And then one other area is, if your reading and writing skill is affected, your reasoning will be different. How you react to situations, how you talk, and how you plan will be affected.
But when you talk about activities, what kind of activities do you engage these children
Now,
with?
we have hands-on activities. Now, reading and writing is not about opening a book and then reading. If you just open the book from morning to night, you are reading, and there is nothing that is, keeping you happy, making it fun for you, because teaching and learning must be fun. It shouldn't be the other way around. It must be fun.
So how do you get the children engaged?
Now, we have activities that will interest them. We come up with things that are hands-on. We have, fun ways of teaching. Fun ways of teaching, come up with activities that will help them to think. Think in, their creative mind.
Okay.
Open their mindset. If I want to teach you something, I come up with activities and games that will give you that knowledge. Not just for you to remember, but for you to understand, analyze, and it keeps going up and up till you get to that level where is the creativity part of it. And then you now become a complete person when it comes to reading and writing.
I know that, one model of teaching is something that is called drama in education, educational drama. And the whole idea is to use the play method, to engage people, to make them concentrate. But, I mean, when we were going to school, we learned the 3 R's, as they call it, reading, writing, arithmetic. Do you see a disconnect in terms of what you have in the curriculum today?
Now, as regards to curriculum, now, like what Mrs. Eze said earlier, now...
You are calling your wife Mrs. Eze?
That's
formal. That's quite formal.
Because
anyway, carry on.
Okay, now, when it comes to the curriculum, if you look at what we had back then, what are the things that were in place? Did we have vices that was distracting us? Now, the curriculum over the years keeps improving. Schools put in things to improve on what we had before. Now, at this present time, we have the social media, we have the internet, things that distract. So if time is not spent in researching, because the essence of researching is not for you to research and then you keep the findings and the report. But if you don't apply it, it becomes an issue. Now we have basically 3 types of learners. We call it the VAC and all that. Now, for each learner...
Can you break that down, those 3 types of learners?
Now, we have the visual learner, the auditory, and the kinesthetic type of learner. Now, for you to be able to pass an information to those 3 people, you must, on your own part, understand what is their need. What are the things around the environment that is distracting them? How can I use these things positively to help them improve on their reading and writing skills? So even when you bring that into the curriculum, but is it the same curriculum? But if you look at it, some people are not improving on it. And we have that gap, in the educational sector. And what we are trying to do is to bridge that thing. The school is doing very well. What Jordan Hill is doing is to complement on it and bridge that gap so that we don't lose our reading culture.
Adeola, let me ask you. I like what you guys are doing, in terms of basic education and in terms of catching them young.
Yes, sir.
Now, one major omission in the quality of education in Nigeria today is that you find young people growing up, or they even become graduates, and they don't understand basic grammar. Grammar, that's one part of it. Do you teach grammar? Now, it's not enough to also teach reading and writing. Do you also groom these children in the area of comprehension? Because comprehension is key.
Yeah, one of the challenges that we're faced with when we're in the classroom, I've worked for quite a number of years in the classroom, and one of the challenges that we were faced with was having children not being able to write very well. And I had to sit back and think about it, that what could be the reasons? One, the distraction. But on the other hand, too, I realized that as a teacher, we're encumbered with a lot of activities, a lot of responsibilities, and the kind of planning that is necessary for you to put in place to be able to deliver excellently on at that particular level was really lost because you had a lot of things you had to do. So I felt, okay, I believe once we coming out now, we have a lot of time to plan for certain things. So what we do with each of our focused areas is actually to spend a longer time exploring a particular unit. Take, for instance, we're exploring story writing. We could do that for a period of 3 months and 4 months, all right? So the children begin to understand how it works. So it stems from reading a text. That's where you talk about reading. comprehension. It stems from reading a text. You read a text, you be able to read and understand it beyond just understanding literally. You're able to make deductions and make inferences from the text and how it affects you. The text itself actually helps you to understand the writing style of the writer and how it can inform your own writing style. So beyond all of that, now grammar is something that is very key to whatever it is that we're doing. Recently, on Monday and on Tuesday, we actually ran the program for teachers on using the 9 parts of speech to be able to teach literacy effectively. Because we find that most children, they learn the 9 parts of speech in school, but they were not seeing it in their writing. They learn the grammar, they learn the sentence types, they learn punctuation, they learn the parts of speech, but then when they write, you cannot see that. So we had to think about it, what could be the problem? And from our own point of view, we believe schools are not spending enough time, so to say, because of the structure of the school system. You have a period of time where you have to be in school, and then you have to be out of the school. And you have so many other subjects you have to explore. But what we do at the center here, we take a longer period to go deep into, if we pick up nouns now, we take a longer period to explore nouns, talk about the definitions, and then go on to the usage. So it is not enough. It is not enough for them to just learn to identify nouns in sentences, or to be able to circle them and then pass excellently well the grammar exams, and then get into writing. They're not able to use it. So when we teach grammar, we make them to start to use it. We watch them, we guide them, we give them criteria for whatever writing they want to do.
All right, talk to us about the programs that you run at your center. You just mentioned that you have a teacher's program. What other programs do you have? We
run programs on Saturdays for children. It's called the Literacy Enrichment Program. The program is simply to help children to reinforce whatever it is they've learned in school. So if I've learned about this particular aspect, we take it, we explore what they're doing in their school, and we break it down for them. We spend a longer time teaching them the concept of that particular focused area. And because, like what Mr. Eze said, we come up with materials and resources. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. When we're in the work environment,
you guys should relax. Feel free.
Okay, my husband.
Is that what you call yourselves at home? Mr.
Well, not at home, but at work, because we work together. But I work, you know, in an environment.
And I really television.
I know. I'm just pulling your legs.
Okay. So. We come up with materials because we have the time. This is what we're focused on. That's all we do. So we come up with materials that we call tools. They're writing tools, they're language tools. The children have them, they move with it, they work with it. And we equally give them resources that would help them, they equip them. So they don't get lost at any point in time when they want to engage in their reading activities or in their writing.
Well, Kennedy, let me come to you. I see you are holding some books. And I follow, you know, Jordan Hill on Instagram, and I know this is part of your success story. So can you tell us about those books you are holding and, you know...
so far, we've published 9 books. 9 books, 7 written by children, and 2 from my wife, Mrs. Eze.
Oh, very nice. You picked up on that real quick.
So we had the first launch, that was May 29th. You know, we used that to, you know, bring the children out, for them to be celebrated on Children's Day. We had a lunch, 5 books, and please help me with this. Okay, this is one of it, Stolen Treasure. Written by Onyinye Udechukwu, pupil of Corona School.
And she's a part of your program.
Yes. Now, what we did, we had the Young Authors Club run a program we run in schools.
That's another program you run.
That's another program we run. And they were part of that club. At the end of the term, we have a writing challenge for them. So those that do well are given a mentorship camp, scholarship, for them to complete their books. And this is the result of that mentorship camp program. The other book is The Lion Comes to Town, written by Bola Nera Tasolu, also a pupil of Corona School.
That's good.
Okay.
Well, when you came to the studio earlier in the day, you know, I saw you came with
where are
2
the
kids,
children,
you know, who are also authors. I wish we could have them on set so that they tell us about their experience. Okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay. I think they will.
We'll have them
Yeah.
later,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we'll be able to talk to them. But are there other success stories apart from, you know, the publication?
Well, for us, the publication, what we let the children understand is, even besides the fact that they get to become published authors, our main focus is actually to get them to become better writers. We know that, yes, they're interested in writing, so they're signed up for the Young Authors Club in their schools. We work with them, they do so well, they join our mentorship program. They get to write, they complete their book. That's a feat in itself. But the main focus is when they get to feel, for most of them now, they're already talking about writing another book.
Oh, wow.
That's way,
very nice.
when they're writing, whatever they've learned the first time, they will put in place the second time.
Okay.
And when they write, so each time they get involved in a writing activity, they get better. That's our focus. And besides that, we know that when they get focused, they know they're celebrated, they're coming on here, they're going to talk about what they've done. In essence, they know they're celebrities. So they would rather spend more time writing than on activities that don't add value to them, because they know that they don't have to do that. With this, they can become famous as well.
All right, I think we're going to bring the children now. We're just going to take a real short break, real quick, because you mentioned some award. Is this part of the whole award thing when they write?
Yes, when they write, we just had a summer program, and after the summer program, we were able to get children who did very well. We had an awards program for them, the Young Writers Awards. At the awards ceremony, we were able to get the children who was best story writer at different levels, the junior, senior category, and intermediate category. So what we do is what they've written during the program, we'll work on it, they work on it with us, and we get to publish.
We must ensure.
I'm interested in
I am so impressed by both of you. And how old are you? You're 8, and you are?
I'm 9 years old.
So this is your first book. How do you feel right now? That's why. Okay, tell us about your book. Oh, you are a celebrity.
You are a celebrity already.
And you're 9. I have a 9-year-old. I am so... Okay, tell me a little bit about your book real quick. Can you? Okay.
My book is all about a collection of poems.
Okay.
Okay.
So really about a... So how did you start writing it? Did you get any help from your parents? Okay, do you want to read the first
No.
Everything was just all you. Okay, tell us about one poem real quick.
No, maybe just read one poem.
Okay, exactly. Can you read
one of
poem?
the poems.
The title is named Night.
Night.
Beautiful creatures of night, I call upon stars to light. Boomless Santa. Boom, it's time for Santa to pay for all the things he has done today and making such a great sight.
Oh, wow. That is so sweet.
Nice rhythm.
They had no umbrella for the sun, no jacket for rain. Every day he would only dab water on his face because he only got a bucket of water alone.
Wow. Good.
He always looked and smelled like a
Wow.
Very good. Very
and
good.
so eloquent. What school are you in? Very
Corona.
nice.
Are you also in Corona?
No.
What's the name of your school?
Rosemary House International School.
Where is that? In Lagos, yeah? Right?
Lekki.
Where? Lekki. Okay. Great. Well, congratulations.
It's been so nice
you
to have
you would like to be a poet in the future, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you would like to become a novelist? And a footballer. Which of the teams is your favorite? Arsenal.
He's an Arsenal
fan. Yeah, I know Arsenal fans out there will say, yes, this is one of us.
Yeah.
Anyway, Adeola, so what is the future for this enterprise?
Yeah, for us, we believe this is an opportunity to actually get to have children celebrated, promoted, and let them begin to value what is right. We're looking at getting into the public schools as well, to be able, so the children there can benefit from programs like this. To be able to do that, of course, would require help and support from different bodies and organizations that would want to partner with us.
So this is a non-profit?
This is a social enterprise, but it's a non-profit social enterprise program. Our focus is just getting children to be focused on what had value to them. Okay, so to do that, we want to reach out to the government schools as well. We want them to attain this level of understanding, because what we do, we basically inspire, motivate, and mentor them to be the best they can be when it comes to reading and writing, and generally to nurture them to become leaders, So we cannot do it all by ourselves. Yes, we would appreciate support. But we're looking at a future Nigeria where children, where we would have been able to bring back a reading culture, which would in turn affect the future generation, such that we'd have young graduates coming out of schools and who are doing very well with their reading and their writing particularly, being able to write memos, being able to write reports, being able to write even the simple email properly. And that's what we're looking at.
You have done so well, Adeola.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. It's time now for a short break on the morning show.